Adaobi would always ask her grandmother, "Mama Ifeoma, why don't I have a father? Mama, who is my father? Mama, please answer me. Mama, Mama." In the heart of Umudike, a small village nested by lush green hills and rushing streams, lived a young girl named Adaobi. She was only 9 years old, with bright eyes that seemed to hide 1,000 questions. Adaobi has been raised by her grandmother, Mama Ifeoma, who told her stories every night about the bravery of her late mother, Chinyere, a woman who faced the world with courage but passed away mysteriously after Adaobi's birth. One evening, after her grandmother's tale, Adaobi whispered, "Mama Ifeoma, why don't I have a father?" The old woman froze. Her wrinkled hand trembled as she stirred the pot of soup over the fire. Finally, with a deep sigh, she said, "Your father lives in this village, my child, but he has refused to accept you." This revelation stirred something in Adaobi. The name of her father was Ikenna, a well-respected but stern farmer in Umudike. Ikenna was known for his great principle, but there were whispers in the village that he had abandoned Chinyere when she needed him most. Adaobi decided to find him, her heart filled with both fear and hope. The next morning, Adaobi walked barefooted to Ikenna's compound, clutching a small basket of freshly plucked oranges. When she saw him, her voice trembled as she called out, "Papa." Ikenna looked up, his piercing eyes narrowing at her. "Who are you calling Papa?" "I'm not your father," he said coldly. "Go back to whoever sent you." Tears filled Adaobi's eyes, but she did not turn back. "Mama Ifeoma say you are my father. Why don't you want me?" she asked, her voice quivering. Ikenna's wife, Nneka, came out of the house, her face contorted in anger. "Who is this girl? What nonsense is this, Ikenna?" Ikenna waved Adaobi away as if she were a fly. "Leave my compound now." Heartbroken, Adaobi ran home to her grandmother. Mama Ifeoma held her tightly, whispering, "Be strong, my child. The truth has a way of revealing itself." That night, something mysterious began to unfold. Ikenna's cattle refused to graze. His farm, once the pride of the village, was struck by an unusual drought. Despite heavy rain in the area, Nneka felt ill, and the herbalists could find no cure. People began to whisper that the spirits were angry. Meanwhile, Adaobi began having strange dreams. She saw her late mother, Chinyere, standing by the village stream, calling her name. "Find the truth, my child," Chinyere would say. "It is the only way to break the curse." Frightened but determined, Adaobi told Mama Ifeoma about her dream. The old woman looked grave and said, "You must listen to your mother. She is guiding you." Adaobi returned to Ikenna's compound, this time with a small crowd of villagers following her. She stood in the center of the compound and spoke with a voice that carries the weight of her ancestors. "Papa, why did you reject me? The spirits are angry because of your lies." Ikenna's face turned pale. "What are you talking about, child?" he stammered. "Tell the truth," Mama Ifeoma cried out, stepping forward. "You love Chinyere, but when she told you that she was carrying your child, you turned your back on her." The villagers murmured in shock. Nneka, still weak from her sickness, began to cry. "Is this true? Ikenna, did you betray me too?" Ikenna fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. I was a coward," he confessed. "I was afraid of what people would say, because Chinyere was from a poorer family. I told her to leave, and I have regretted it every day since." As Ikenna confessed, a sudden gush of wind swept through the compound. Adaobi felt a warm presence beside her, and for a moment, she thought she saw her mother smiling. The drought in Ikenna's farm ended the next day, and Nneka's illness began to heal. But the mystery was far from over. Adaobi's dream returned, and this time, her mother revealed something even more shocking. There was a secret buried in the hills of Umudike, something that could change their lives forever. That night, Adaobi couldn't sleep. Her mother's voice echoed in her dreams. leading her to the hills of Umudike. The truth lies beneath the old baobab tree, Chinyere whispered, her face shimmering like morning dew. Go there, my child, but beware. Not all who seek the truth have pure intentions. Adaobi woke up with a start. She told Mama Ifeoma about the dream. The old woman's eyes widened. The baobab tree, she whispered. That place is forbidden. Strange things have happened there. People say it's where the spirits gather. Despite the warning, Adaobi felt an unshakable pull. I have to go there, Mama. I need to know what my mother is trying to tell me. Early the next morning, Adaobi made her way to the baobab tree, a towering giant that stood alone at the edge of the village. Its twisted branches seemed to reach out like ancient arms, and its roots dug deep into the earth, as if guiding a secret. The air around it was airy still, and the chirping of birds seemed to fade the closer she got. As Adaobi approached, she saw something glittering in the soil at the base of the tree. She began to dig with her hands, her finger trembling with anticipation. Beneath the roots, she uncovered a small rusted metal box. She opened it to find an old Jonah wrapped in a cloth and a locket containing a faded picture of her mother and Ikenna. Her heart raced as she flipped through the Jonah. It was filled with her mother's handwriting, recounting her love for Ikenna, the betrayer, and a cryptic warning. If anything happens to me, the truth must come out. Seek the spirit for guidance, Adaobi, my daughter. This is your inheritance. Before Adaobi could make sense of it, she heard footsteps behind her. She turned to see Ikenna standing there, his face pale and drowned. What are you doing here? He demanded, his voice shaking. Adaobi held up the Jonah. I found this. Mama left it for me. What is she trying to tell me, Papa? Ikenna's eyes filled with tears as he knelt before her. Adaobi, I have made many mistakes, but if your mother led you here, then there is more to this story than even I know. That evening, Ikenna and Adaobi returned to Mama Ifeoma's hut with the Jonah. The three of them sat around a flickering oil lamp, listening together to Chinyere's word. The Jonah spoke of a hidden treasure buried somewhere in Umudike, a treasure that could either bring great fortune or terrible misfortune, depending on who found it. But there was more. A name kept appearing on the Jonah, Obinna. Chinyere wrote, Obinna knows the truth, but beware, his heart is dark. Mama Ifeoma gasped. Obinna is the herbalist in the next village. He was once a good man, but he changed after your mother's death. He became bitter, always muttering about what was taken from him. Ikenna's face darkened. We must speak to him. He might know what happened to Chinyere. The next day, they journeyed to Obinna's hut, deep in the forest. The old man was hunched over a fire, grinding herbs with a look of deep concentration. When he saw Adaobi, he froze. You have her eyes, he said, his voice trembling. Her name is Adaobi, Mama Ifeoma said sternly, and she deserves the truth. Obinna looked at Ikenna, his expression turning to rage. You are the reason she is gone. You abandoned her, and she turned to me for help, but it was too late. What do you mean? Adaobi asked, stepping forward. Obinna sighed, his hand shaking. Your mother came to me after Ikenna rejected her. She was desperate. She begged me to protect her from the shame of the village. I love her, but she didn't love me back. When she died, I swore to keep her secret, but it is time you know. Obinna led them to a hidden room in his hut, where he reviewed an ancient map. This map showed the location of the treasure your mother spoke of, but be warned, it is cursed. Those who seek it with greed in their hearts will face the wrath of the spirits. Determined to uncover the truth, Adaobi, Ikenna, and Mama Ifeoma decided to follow the map. Their journey was fraught with dangers, wild animals, treasure paths, and strange visions that tested their courage. At every step, Adaobi felt her mother's presence guiding her. As they reached the treasure's location, a cave deep within the hills, they found an intricately carved chest glowing faintly in the dim light. But as they moved closer, a shadowy figure emerged. It was Obinna. "I warn you," he said, his voice echoing through the cave. "That treasure is not meant for you." Before anyone could react, the ground beneath them began to shake. The chest cracked open on its own, revealing a blinding light. Adaobi heard her mother's voice one last time. "The truth is yours, my child, but be careful what you choose." The cave trembled violently, and the blinding light poured from the chest like a river of molten gold, illuminating every corner of the cave. Adaobi clutched Ikenna's hand, her small frame trembling. Mama Ifeoma muttered prayers under her breath, while Obinna's face twisting in midst of fear and greed. "Step back," Obinna shouted, but his voice cracked as though even he wasn't sure of his authority. Adaobi heard her mother's voice again, clear and commanding. "The treasure is not what it seems, Adaobi. Do not trust what you see. Your heart must guide you." The lights dimmed, and for the first time, they saw the content of the chest, a collection of gold coin, intricate jewels, and ancient scrolls covered in symbols no one could see the fast. But at the center of it all was a small cave figurine of a woman holding a baby. "The idol of Ezioku," whispers Mama Ifeoma. "The idol of truth," Ikenna translated aloud. Stepping closer, Obinna lunged forward, his eyes wide. "Don't touch it! It is mine!" But the moment his fingers grazed the idol, a powerful force knocked him back. He hit the cave wall and fell unconscious. The idol began to hum softly, and Adaobi felt a strong warmth as she reached out. "Mama," she whispers, her voice trembling. "Is this why you called me here?" Suddenly, the symbol on the scroll began to glow. The scroll unfurled by themselves, and ghostly figures emerged from the pages. One of them was Chinyere. "Mother!" Adaobi cried, tears streaming down her face. The ghostly figure smiled warmly. "My brave daughter, you have done well to come this far. But the journey is not over." Ikenna fell to his knees. "Chinyere, I'm so sorry. I should have protected you." Chinyere gasped softened. "Ikenna, your betrayal brought pain, but it also brought Adaobi into this world. Now, you must stand by her, for the truth will test you all." Obinna groaned, slowly regaining consciousness. He pointed at Chinyere's ghost, his voice full of venom. You were supposed to choose me. Instead, you cursed me with this knowledge and left me to suffer." Chinyere turned to him, her face sorrowful. "Obinna, your heart was pure once, but greed and anger have consumed you. The treasure you seek is not gold or jewels. It is redemption." As Chinyere spoke, the cave began to transform. The walls turned into mirrors, each reflecting a different scene. One showed Ikenna abandoning Chinyere in her time of need. Another revealed Obinna's unspoken love for her. Yet another shows Mama Ifeoma secretly meeting with a mysterious stranger years ago. Adaobi stared at the mirror, her heart pounding. "What is this?" Chinyere's voice was firm. "This is the truth, my child. Each of you must confront it before you can leave this cave." The mirror began to ripple like water. One by one, they pulled the group into their depths. Ikenna found himself standing in his younger self's shoes, watching Chinyere sob as he turned his back on her. He felt the weight of his cowardice, the sharp pain of regret slicing through him. "I was afraid," he whispered, "afraid of being judged, of losing everything I have worked for. But none of it was worth losing you." The mirror scattered, and Ikenna emerged on the other side, tears streaming down his face. Mama Ifeoma stood in a dimly lit hut, speaking to a coated figure. The figure handed her a bunch of herbs. "This will protect the child," the figure said. "You knew?" Adaobi's voice echoed around her. "You knew my father rejected me, and you made a deal to keep me safe. But what did it cost, Mama?" Mama Ifeoma reflection whispers. "Everything." The mirror cracked, and she stumbled back into the cave, her face pale with guilt. Obinna saw himself missing a portion, his hand shaking. He poured it into a bowl and gave it to Chinyere. "This will ease your pain," he said. But as Chinyere drank, She clutched her stomach and collapsed. "No!" Obinna screamed. "It wasn't supposed to kill her. I only wanted her to need me." And Obinna fell to the ground, sobbing. "I didn't mean to hurt her," he muttered. Adaobi saw herself standing under the baobab tree, holding the idol. A voice whispered in her ears, "You have the power to change everything, to rewrite the past. But power comes at a price. Choose wisely." The mirror didn't scatter, but dissolved, leaving Adaobi standing in the cave, clutching the idol tightly. The cave stopped trembling. Chinyere's ghost smiled. "You have all faced the truth. Now, you must decide what to do with it." Adaobi held up the idol, her voice steady. "We must return it to where it belongs. The treasure have caused enough pain." Obinna cried out, "No! It belongs to me!" He longed for the idol, but as his hands touched it, he screamed. The idol burned with an intense light, and Obinna vanished, leaving only a faint shadow on the cave wall. The cave began to collapse. Adaobi and the others ran as the wall crumbled behind them. When they finally emerged into the daylight, the baobab tree was gone, replaced by a small mound of earth. Mama Ifeoma placed a hand on Adaobi's shoulder. "You have brought peace, my child. Your mother would be proud." But Adaobi couldn't shake the feeling that their journey wasn't over. The idol still hummed faintly in her hands, and she couldn't ignore the whispers that echoed in her mind. The truth is only the beginning. As the group stood at the mount where the baobab tree once stood, a strange wind swept across the land, carrying with it whispers that seemed to come from the very earth itself. Adaobi clutched the idol tighter, feeling it warm intensify, almost as if it has a pulse on its own. Ikenna looked at the idol with fear and reverence. "Adaobi, maybe we should bury it here and leave it. The spirits have had enough of us." "No," Adaobi said firmly, her voice stronger than ever. "The idol hasn't finished its purpose. Mama told me to seek the truth, and I feel there is more to uncover." Mama Ifeoma nodded gravely. "Child, the idol has chosen you. You must finish what has begun." Suddenly, the ground beneath them quaked, and the mat split open, revealing a narrow staircase leading deep into the earth. The air grew colder, and the whispers turned to chants. Adaobi stepped forward, her small frame illuminated by the faint glow of the idol. "Are you sure about this?" Ikenna asked, his voice trembling. Adaobi glanced back, her eyes unwavering. "I am sure." The staircase spiraled endlessly, each step taking them deeper into a cave illuminated by strange blue crystals embedded in the walls. The air was heavy, and the sound of the creeping waters echoed eerily. Adaobi led the way, the idol growing brighter with every step. After what feels like hours, they reached a massive underground chambers. At its center stood a pedestal carved with intricate patterns, surrounded by a circle of stone statues. Each statue depicted a figure holding a piece of the treasure from the chest above. This must be the source of the idol's power," Mama Ifeoma whispered. Before anyone could react, the statue's eyes glowed red, and they began to move. Their stone lip cracked as they stepped forward, blocking the group path to the pedestal. "You must prove yourself," a booming voice echoed through the chambers. Adaobi stepped forward, her heart pounding. "What do you want from me?" The statue froze. The voice replied, "The idol does not belong to the greedy, the cowardly, or the vengeful. Show us that your heart is pure, or suffer the fate of those who fade before you." One by one, the statues turned to face each member of the group. The first statues pointed at Ikenna. "You abandoned your family for the fear of shame. Why should you stand here now?" Ikenna fell to his knees. "I was a fool, but I am ready to make amends. My daughter is my redemption, and I will protect her with my life." The statue paused, then returned to its position. The second statue faced Mama Ifeoma. "You made a deal with the spirit, knowing it could bring pain. Why should you not be punished?" Mama Ifeoma lowered her head. "I did what I thought was best to protect Adaobi. If that was wrong, I accept my punishment, but I will not abandon her now." The statue tightened its head, then returned to its place. Finally, the last statue turned to Adaobi. Its voice softened. You carry the burden of truth, child, but the truth is a double-edged sword. Will you wield it to heal or to destroy? Adaobi felt her mother's presence surround her. I choose to heal, she said firmly. The treasure has brought pain to my family and my village, and I will return it to the earth and end the suffering. The statues bowed, and the chamber began to glow with a golden light. The pedestal opened, revealing a second idol. This one came from pure crystal. Adaobi placed the first idol next to it, and the two merged into one, radiating a light so bright it fills the entire chamber. In the light, Adaobi saw visions of her mother's life, her struggles, and her love, but she also saw the future, a future where her village thrived, free from the curse of greed and betrayal. The voice echoed again, softer this time. The treasure is not gold or jewel, but wisdom and unity. You have proven your heart, and now you shall bring peace. As they ascended from the chamber, the staircase sealed itself behind them, and the mount where the baobab tree once stood was now a fertile patch of land, bustling with vibrant flowers. The villagers, drawn by the strange events, gathered around. Adaobi held the idol high, its light shining over everyone. This is not just my story, she said. It is ours. Let the truth guide us and heal our village. They crowd cheers, but Adaobi's eyes met Obina's shadowy image at the edge of the gathering. He nodded solemnly before disappearing into the forest. Years later, Adaobi became a leader in Umudike, known for her wisdom and bravery. The idol was buried deep in the earth, its powers dormant but always present, a reminder of the lesson learned. And though the whispers of the spirits faded, the story of the girl who sought the truth lives on, though around fires for generations, ensuring that no one could ever forget the price of greed and the power of a pure heart.